Well, I never thought I'd get my hands on this one, folks. Hey there, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. And the reason I say I don't think I would have ever gotten my hands on this beer, this is a 26.2 brew. Now it says here it's from Marathon Brewing Company. It's an ale brewed with coriander and sea salt added. Boston Athletic Association, Boston Marathon. There's a lot of logos on here. I don't know who the hell the Marathon Brewing Company is, but this says it was brewed in collaboration with Samuel Adams runners and brewers. So here's the deal. This beer was originally put out at the Sam Adams Brewery in Boston, Mass, and it was only distributed during, I believe, the full week of the Boston Marathon. So you had to be in Boston to get it. Similar to their Boston Brick Red, which, by the way, if you ever get to Boston, is an awesome beer, and you should check it out. It's another Sam Adams beer. It's a red, obviously, and you can only get it in Boston or the surrounding area. Now, this one was only, like I said, released during the week of the Boston Marathon and in the Boston area. Apparently, it's popular enough that they decided to start releasing it otherwise. Now, I got a notification in Untapped, I think it was TJ. Maybe? Crap. Sorry, I could be wrong on that. Somebody gave me the heads up that it was available at Buffalo Mild Wings. Yeah, you heard me right. And then I saw it in the stores. So I was wondering if it was the same beer, and it definitely is. Now this is awesome, because like I said, I didn't think I'd ever get down to Boston during the week of the marathon. I mean, obviously, I ain't running a fucking marathon anytime soon. So I despaired of ever having this beer. Similar to their Brewlywed that they were putting out for a couple of years. That was an interesting one. We'll talk about that another time, though. But, so, 26.2 is now available more widely than just in the Boston area during the Boston Marathon. So, that's cool. Now, ale brewed with sea salt with coriander added. That sea salt is supposed to be an actual thirst-quenching component of the beer, similar to when you add salts to sports drinks. And Dogfish Head's Sea Quench uses sea salt. I don't think sea salt is as important as actually putting the salt in the beer itself as an actual thirst quencher. And there have been scientific studies done saying that putting that salt in the beer actually does quench thirst. Doesn't say whether or not it's actually good for dehydration, because we all know that beer is not actually a good source of real hydration. But that's beside the point. 4% alcohol by volume, and it looks like it's another light beer. It's 12 ounces, 120 calories, 9 grams of carbs, 2 grams of protein, and 0 fats. So, as far as good for you goes, it's as good for you as any beer can possibly be. Alright, we've talked about it enough. Let's go down the hatch here. It's got an interesting look to it. The color, I don't know. It's an odd combination of yellow and brown that's not as pleasing to the eye as I would have thought. It is a little hazy, slightly effervescent. There's a few bubbles coming up through there. I'm sorry, it honestly looks like dirty water. How appropriate for a Boston beer, right? I mean, not so bad that it's off-putting. I mean, it is a beer, so obviously it's going to have some brownish color to it, and the yellow is blending with it really well, but it does look like dirty water. Yeah, just a few bubbles coming up, slightly effervescent, quite hazy. It's got a crisp aroma. Maybe getting a hint of the coriander. It's got a bit of a peppery note to it as well. I was looking to see if the IBUs were listed, but they are not, because I'm not getting much in terms of hoppiness. So if this was a special event marathon beer, it's probably not. Hang on, let's taste it before we assume. And I'm thinking it's probably not going to be very hoppy. Definitely getting the coriander. It does have a bit of saltiness to it. Maybe a little hint of hoppy bitterness, but not a whole lot. It is interesting. It's like a nice grainy beer up front, and then you get a hint of coriander, and then some saltiness in the finish. Definitely not as thirsty as I was before drinking it, I'll tell you that. Got a nice crisp finish to it. Bit of a medium light mouthfeel. Not as light as I was expecting, but not too heavy either. It's got some body to it. I gotta say, this is a beer that I would definitely drink when I was sweaty. And again, in the long term, it's not going to be a good source of hydration because no beer is. Let's just get that out of the way. But, you know, it's quenching my thirst. It's certainly a great alternative to water. But if you really are in need of hydration, hit up water or a sports drink, please. It's not a substitute for that. But in terms of, let's put aside the physiological benefits. This is a thirst-quenching beer that's perfect for any time you're sweaty. Running a marathon, working out, hot summer days, just sitting around the fire on a cold night, if you start sweating because the fire is hot enough, you could drink this beer. That's damn good. Damn good. It's not blowing me away with its flavor profile or really impressing me to the degree that I'm ready to push it up into the 4 out of 5 category or even a wow. But it is definitely a great above average beer, which puts it at a solid 3.5 out of 5 for me. And again, on that scale, 2.5 is average, so 3.5 is definitely a bit above average. I got nothing negative to say about it. I'll put that right out there. It's just a good, solid, above average beer that's going to quench your thirst. Better than some others. But that's just what I have to say about it. And I didn't have to run a marathon to get the beer. So, hit me up down below in the comments in the email section. I'd like to hear what you have to say. If you're one of those lucky folks who... if you're one of those folks who did get a chance to try the 26.2 back when it was... a Boston Marathon exclusive, I'd love to hear how this stacks up against that. I'm wondering if they changed. It doesn't look that bubbly, but there's definitely enough gas coming back up. I'd like to know if they changed the formulation significantly between relabeling it and changing their distribution methods. So, definitely hit me up if you have had a chance to compare. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in and cheers.